You've reached call in Mockery.
All right, everyone, welcome to Call in Mockery. I just ask that you settle down quickly, and we'll have questions at the end of this. If we can first do the ceremonial cracking of the liquid deaths. This is convicted melon.
Mine's unbelievable.
So we need each week we have someone do based on their religion. We have them say a little prayer or whatever based on it. These city council said. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at something I saw earlier
yesterday
with my dog. So we're gonna have Miss Stacy
Keebler. Please say Keebler. Please say Keebler.
Stacy Keebler's here to hopefully put us in maybe not put us in a headlock maybe until afterwards. But she's gonna give a little speech at the beginning.
Happiness and peace. Happiness and peace. Happiness and peace.
All right, thank you, Stacy. We're here just to discuss briefly, as co-chair of Colin Mockery, Joey Laboda. I just wanted to announce that I've seen the complaints. We've seen what's been going on with my co-host, Landon. And today I am formally opening an impeachment against him. The stuff he has done, or his son, Hunter, have done is inexcusable. We're going to get to the bottom of it, but I think he's been a detriment not only to the show, but to our country at large. So if anyone's got any questions, they can talk with me afterwards, but I believe all I'm doing right now is I'm just saying I'm going to look into impeaching him. So that's basically...
Can I please just, for the record...
Didn't know his microphone was hot.
It's hot.
Okay. I'm getting a little feedback, but maybe they're probably not.
I simply want to speak up for myself.
Okay.
And quote, I don't even have to speak for myself because I will use a quote that lives on in perpetuity.
Yeah.
One of our greatest presidents said this, and I think it rings completely true for this situation here. And may I just...
Yeah, you respectfully have the floor. I am a good person.
I couldn't imagine somebody like Osama bin Laden understanding the joy of Hanukkah.
I rest my case. Please call 319-DUB-MIT if you have any further questions, Your Honor.
DUBMIIT, Your Honor. And can we make sure that the... what do they call when the person they type? They have like 4 keys, but somehow they have the whole alphabet.
Yes.
What is that?
Do you want a real answer or a funny one?
Well, I was gonna say win Ben stenographer's money.
Real and funny.
This is Colin Mockery.
That's the Colin Mockery promise.
And we're here. Oh, Stacy, stop! Stacy, stop!
Stacy,
It's crazy.
don't stop.
That people want to talk about. Yeah. People want to talk about nepo babies. No one talks about who Stacy Keebler's parents are.
That's true.
Guess who? Yeah,
The freaking elves
you're
make
not the
the
only
cookies.
one. Yeah, she will make you make E.L.Fudge in a different way.
Ever notice it's E.L.Fudge?
Yeah, I'll look at that at the store and I go, so is it E.L.F.Udge?
Yeah.
Or you're just supposed to say E.L.F.Udge. And why is it?
Why is it? Just
Because
say
it's called
El-Fudge.
E.L.Fudge. What does the E.L. stand for? You know what?
Every lovin' fudge.
But then is it E.L.F.Udge or is it just E.L.Fudge?
They should have.
E.L.Fudge.
I don't know. They probably shouldn't have. It's probably one of those things where it looks like an acronym just because, like back then when they first came up with it, they didn't know how to spell stuff and whatever.
It stands for Everybody Loves.
Oh.
So the name is derived from the Keebler elf in parentheses ELF.
Everybody loves fudge.
So the EL stood for Everybody Loves. So you've got original double. So Everybody Loves Fudge.
Everybody loves fudge. Well, I guess that's true. So I can't deny that.
Also, E.L.Fudge is a member of the Crazy Eights. He's a drug-dealing juvenile delinquent, which was, of course, voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson.
Oh, wait. Is that the guy that said the bad stuff at the comedy club?
Wait, is that the guy that said the bad stuff at the comedy club on 4th Avenue on a Tuesday when I was 19 and it was rainy out? I mean,
Michael Richardson?
Jerry, I didn't do it. I know you didn't. I heard it, but you didn't do it. I didn't do it.
Do you think they talk?
No, I think they pretend to talk. Because I think when he picked him up for that Comedians in Cars episode, I don't think they'd talked for a while. But he's like, I'm here to pick you up, just like always.
I forgot he did one of those.
He did one, and that's where he was like, when that happened, I felt so bad. He's like, yeah, I know you did. You're not a racist.
I know.
Yeah, I know. Should we talk about the last 2 seasons of Seinfeld when it was different? I mean, get a new show.
Are they going to make more of those?
I think he's talked to everyone.
There's no more. I mean, even at that point, he was talking to Miranda Sings or whatever. It was like, you don't have any more comedy friends?
I've listened to much lesser comedians have shows for years.
Yeah.
They talk to everyone under the sun. Jerry Seinfeld can't get anyone else. You got like 2 people from Saturday Night Live. You might not know them, but you know how to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
If you reached out to Shane Gillis and said, would you do the show? And he's like, sorry, I'm doing a fly on the wall today. But maybe later, but I've been canceled, so it's hard to book anything.
Yeah.
I have a Netflix special coming out I have to do, and I have Fly on the Wall I have to do. It's just hard for me. And he's like, I understand.
Anyway, I'll talk to Miranda Sings. Definitely someone who's not canceled.
She's got a good head on her shoulder.
Of course, at the time, she wasn't canceled.
No, at the time she was on our top 10 list, I think, of that year, right?
What year was that?
20.
Yeah, she would have been on the top 10 list there. And it is funny that whatever happened to her,
yes,
she did that. She was weird to her fans. That, to put it nicely.
Mm-hmm.
To put it truthfully, she was criminally weird. Criminally weird.
To put it, in general, to put it lightly, she was weird. If we want to get into it a little bit more, she was criminally weird.
But then the peanut gallery goes back and says she was 30 and she was acting like a kid. Mm. Obviously, she was grooming children. I was like, well, that was her whole thing the whole time,
right?
I mean, as a more of a grown up,
yes,
at the time seeing it, obviously it was weird.
That was her thing.
But that was her thing, and people have done it. People still do it. That Blippo guy.
Yeah, and you know what he's going to do to you. Speaking of E.L.Fudge.
Scatman Crothers over here.
But he's fine?
He's fine.
She sent someone a bra in the mail that she didn't even use. I'm on Justice for Sing. No. Of
course. I can't even let you joke about that.
No, because someone's going to take it out of context. Me saying Justice for Sing. They're going to think we're trying to do some sort of like We Are the World thing called Justice for Sing. And we get together.
Or that movie where the pig squeals.
Yeah.
animated. It's like,
It would be.
I have run all my life. I have crawled
Then,
through my
as he's doing that,
ties.
the hippo comes out behind him. Only to be with you.
I've never seen one, but the trailers are insane.
I've seen the trailer. That's a 4-minute long music video from the end of the movie. Like, I think they're just showing how the movie ends.
That must just be it, probably, right? It's American Idol, but the actual singers play different types of animals.
People love when
this
animals
stuff.
sing popular tunes.
Of course. Except for when George Lucas does it, and it's called Strange Magic, and it's all 50
the fairies
songs.
are rapping.
But suddenly the movie Sing and Sing 2 comes out,
Yeah.
and suddenly everyone loves the idea.
Yeah.
And George is like, well, actually, I came up with that years ago. Where freaky-looking little fairies in the forest sing car bebop songs from 1950s that I like. You're like, George,
Yeah.
come on. Strange Magic, look it up.
Look up Strange Magic. A couple fairies going like, so if an old friend I know drops in to say hello. But no, you're fine with Romeo and Juliet being like,
You're fine with that.
if
I
you're
can't
if you're
believe
fine with
you.
that, that's fine.
I can't
If you're
believe you.
fine with, of course, Shrek doing it where they're kind of being naughty with it.
Yeah.
And you're fine with showing your kids that. Fine. No, it's fine.
It's fine.
The drag queens are the ones that we need to worry about. Not the guys talking about wipe your shoes on the grass,
Shine your shoes, wipe your face.
No,
and
that's
then,
not
and
the
then,
problem.
And at the end, and Donkey goes into "I like big butts and I cannot lie."
Yes.
With his dragon wife,
about his dragon that he has kids with.
and the dragon's shaking its butt. No, I don't know. Some people want to
If
pick
I
their
could,
battles.
if I could do a Shrek every year, I would. I really, really love doing those. Oh, really? If you could be in a air-conditioned vocal booth, make $1 million in a couple days, you would do it every year. Oh, go ahead. No. No, I'm sorry for keeping you away from that. No, go do it. Do a Shrek every year.
Yeah, who said
Who
to
said
stop?
Everybody loves it.
You think they're not? I mean, that's printing money for these people.
They're still making SpongeBob. Kids that watch SpongeBob growing up are now making. Can you imagine you were watching SpongeBob growing up, and then one day you walk through the orange arches of Nickelodeon, you show up, and there's a guy, and he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And you're like, it's the guy
Goober,
that
man,
does
that
Goober.
does Patrick.
He does Patrick. Then you walk by a guy going, "Oh, hey, I'm just warming up." You're like, "That's Tim Kenny." Tim, my hero, Tim Kenny. And
I loved you on Mr. Show.
I don't talk about that anymore. And then Mr. Lawrence. Hello.
Oh, I thought you meant Bill Lawrence.
No, Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence. He does Plankton.
Oh, yes, of course. I'm thinking of, wait, who created SpongeBob?
Who created? Now, if I go down to 50-50, if I think it's between Bill Lawrence and Bob Lawrence,
And
There's
now
not
you're going to take away the...
there's not some guy in the back that's gonna.
I'll watch that every time I see it.
I'll repost this every time it comes up.
And I really will, but in my mind.
Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald on Millionaire. Look that up. Just look it up. That's all we're doing nowadays on the show. We're just talking about stuff that then you have to go do the research on.
We've seen it.
We've seen it.
You haven't.
You haven't.
So then you have to. Yeah, it's kind of fun. It's like
Is it Bob or Bill?
Bill Lawrence. It's not Bob.
Well, you said Bob. But now I'm thinking, is Bill Lawrence The guy that created Scrubs. Who's that?
Bill Lawrence is an American television producer who created
Scrubs.
Okay. So you're talking about...
I'm talking about Bill Lawrence.
No. His name is... And I don't want to look it up.
Don't look it up. This is a crutch, people. It used to be we had to just sit around and not know. And that was good enough. Now we can look everything up on our little tiny black rectangles that's oddly the shape of the obelisk at the beginning of 2001: A Space Odyssey.
And it's also black.
Just like the obelisk.
When your screen is off, it's just like the obelisk.
At the beginning of Space Odyssey 2001.
Okay, so do you know in 2011 when there's a big black obelisk in the movie that the orangutans look at? I worked with a guy that he was just like, this was maybe 5 years ago.
And
okay,
we will get back to everything that's...
We will. And I think it's Stephen Lawrence or Bill Stevens or something.
5 years ago, you're working with
I'm working with this guy not that long ago.
I worked with you 5 years ago.
Okay, wow. It's been probably 8 years ago. So he goes, we were talking about cell phones, and he goes, I just don't get it, man. He was also our age. And he's like, I just don't get it. I just couldn't have one. I mean, all I see is people walking around, and they're just rubbing their fingers on glass. I mean, that's what it is. You're rubbing your fingers up and down glass. Have you ever thought about that? I'm just watching people rubbing their... It's like he had this whole bit
stand-up
planned out that he was acting like he just came up with. He's like, isn't that just weird? You're just rubbing your fingers up and down on a piece of glass. And I was like, but you're not. Like you're looking at information.
Yeah, there's stuff on the glass.
The screen's not turned off. You're not just walking around going
doi 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 doi.
Like I get you're trying to be like, I don't know, you're trying to do a little Carlin thing.
Yeah.
If I wanted to rub glass, I'd go to Todd's house. I can't think of a glass.
I'd go to... Yeah.
I'm going to look up who made SpongeBob.
Okay.
Who made you? Who made SpongeBob? SpongeBob SquarePants was created by... Would you like to...
Hillenburg or something.
I think it's Steven Hillenburg.
Yes.
SpongeBob.
Who is now passed away.
Yes. I got the Steven, you got the Hillenburg. Steven McDaniel. Okay, that's new to me. Hillenburg.
Damn, man, that's crazy.
That's crazy. Died in... God, I don't think they have a date. November 26th, 2018. Imagine me waking up the day after my birthday. I just had a blowout party.
Your 18th.
Mm-hmm. I've just turned 18 in 2018. I love having a birthday on like a 0000.
Yeah.
Because every year I know what I'm turning. You know, sometimes your parents are like, I don't know, like I'm 62 or 63.
Yeah, who cares?
You kind of lose track. And like as a kid, you go, well, how can you not know it's your birthday?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but some of my friends are starting to get it.
Yeah.
But me, I'm like, well, I'm never going to have that problem, because I'm only 22 at this point. I'll be 23 in November.
Yeah.
But I'm always going to know.
Yeah.
Until the... Like the 2100s. Well, no, even then.
Even then, you just...
I'm 101. 102. 103. I can't wait to be on that Smucker's jar.
The oldest piece of shit.
Happy birthday to Gladys. She turned 103 and her favorite flavor is strawberry preserve.
All she can eat is preserves.
Let's cut to Gladys. Kill me. All right, so we're cutting back. It seems we cannot get her to say anything.
Hold on. She's in a car with Jerry Seinfeld. Seems everyone in the comedy community kind of doesn't like Jerry. He's having to scrape the bottom of the barrel of other random people.
So you're 100.
Yeah. Too old for you, I hear. She zings him because he has a...
Yeah. He tried to be nice. He got her a Model T. I knew I had to pick up Gladys and none other than a Model T.
She remembers when this first came out when she was 50.
Ford once said you can buy it in any color as long as it's black. He also said, seek Heil. And no one wants to talk about that. No one wants to talk about how Ford was a Nazi.
Then Gladys is like, well, they were sharp dressed.
Yeah.
Because Gladys,
she's older. We have to.
Some of those people you just have to kind of wait until they eat their final Schmuckers jar.
It's called the Lost Cause. Heard of it? Gladys is a lost cause. Her kids know that. They don't want to say it. Her grandkids are just like, my grandma thinks the Nazis were cute. They don't want to tell. There's like, if you tell, they tell their friends that.
Hugo Boss made their. Just.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, you don't like VW? Is that even the right one? BMW. Is that it? BMX. I don't know.
You don't know. You don't know. We don't know. Just go eat your final Schmuckers.
It's a long. We all one day have to eat our final Schmuckers.
Isn't that sad to think? I threw out I didn't throw it out, but someone in my house threw out a jar of jelly that I hadn't touched in probably 2 years. And isn't that sad to think? Someday, someone else is going to come into your house and throw away your jelly because you have eaten your final spoonful of Schmuckers.
What will be the final Schmuckers that you go out on? Not Hugo.
No, Hugo
Not
Boss.
Hugo Boss goes out on. You go out on. Because if you were to go, I love, God, what's a good preserve? Sometimes I like to get the spicy ones.
Hilda.
You guys get that?
You'll see that.
You'll see. You'll see.
Someday.
It's not a threat. You'll see. No, it's not. I wasn't threatening her, Officer Bluto.
But speaking of people that grew up, unless you have something else you want to say.
Nope.
People that grew up watching The Thing and now they create The Thing.
Oh, just in general.
People who grew up watching The Thing are apparently Stephen Colbert and Quentin Tarantino, who both think it's the greatest movie ever made. I don't know. You just see clips online and you're just like, why am I watching this? I don't care about either of their opinions.
I'll go watch a movie on my own accord. I don't need Stephen Colbert to tell me that.
I think it's one of the greatest films ever made.
So do I.
Enough, both of you.
Rudy made me cry.
Rudy also made me cry. And here's a book about working for VHS company. I saw a movie in 1982. I'm only going to make one more movie.
Oh, is that a threat, Mr. Tarantino? We love your movies so much. Please, could you do
Make Star Trek R.
Oh, yes.
I saw in 1976. There was a film by Squidward Tentacles. It was called The Manchurian Candidate's Ex-Girlfriend, okay? And the ex-girlfriend was actually from the original Manchurian Candidate from 1932, okay? And because it was the 1932, it was based on a 1931 silent film, okay? The silent film was French, okay? But the French, they didn't have lenses that could reach that far. So in 1932, you had a longer lens, and then in 1976, when the Manchurian Candidate's girlfriend, it was actually an exploitation film, and the lens was
Crazy. Could you set up this clip for us?
This is where I say the N-word. That's Quentin Tarantino, everybody.
That's Quentin Tarantino for you, and we love him, and we can't wait to see That Thing You Do, starring Mr. Paul Walter Hauser.
Maybe.
Some people say that I might be in it. Some people say that I might not be in it. Who's to say? I don't know.
I think I saw he was on an episode of a podcast, a video podcast that I'm not going to plug here, but that I randomly watched.
So random.
And in the middle of it, it was during the strike, I think. Or no. It was before that. But in the middle of it, he checks his email and gets an email, and he's like, "Oh my God, dude, look at this!" And he shows the host, and he's like, And they're both like so excited for him, but he can't say what it is because he doesn't. It's not for sure yet. But he's like, they just offered me. This is incredible. And he like just kind of sits there for a while. And I think it's that now that Quentin Tarantino's final film, The Critic.
You would have to. Was the film critic?
The film critic, right?
Something.
I don't know. I don't care. I don't like the guy. But it was just cool to see that happen in real time. You feel good for the guy.
He seems nice, right?
He's a great guy. If
he's got to work with
if what he says is true.
All of Landon's heroes, Clint Eastwood, Quentin Tarantino soon, probably, right? Why would you show the host of the podcast? Because I would worry that they're then going to spill beans.
No. These guys all have the...
Yeah, that's industry stuff.
It's the code.
You don't put someone else's dirty feet in your movie without...
But it's got to be that.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'd see Quentin seeing him and be like, he's got to be in my movie.
Yeah, I would put him in anything.
I'd put him in...
He's great.
We should call... I think he's probably still...
He'd do
we
it.
can still talk to him.
He'd at least talk to us.
He'd
Paul, if you're out there, call us 319
I listened to a podcast with him where he said people give me their scripts to read, and he's like, I probably read 1 out of every 10 I get, which is
honestly that's
good.
Better than I would think. Yeah,
I mean, literally, if I had 10 scripts sitting in front of me, I would probably say I'll read 1 of them.
Yeah,
if that's all that I had. If I only ever got 10, I'd say I'm probably gonna read 1 of these.
Probably 3 or so years ago, a very good friend of mine sent me a script just to read and kind of give my thoughts to him on.
Okay.
And I still haven't looked at it. Now, in my defense, about 6 or 7 months after he sent it to me, which is still too long, he said, please don't read that.
Okay.
I've completely changed everything, and I'm embarrassed about it, so please don't read it. So I have that in my court, but it was still too long after he sent it that I didn't read it. And then there's a guy that I knew in college that sent me a script kind of recently that was bad, and I did read it, and I didn't say anything because it was bad.
You can't, right?
Yeah.
Because what are you gonna do?
What are you gonna do? You
and
want my honest
what does he
opinion?
Want you to do with it?
Yeah,
I want you to be in it.
No.
That's the thing, though. This Tarantino guy can offer you the film critic. What if it's the worst movie he's ever made? What if this? That's why. I mean, he must be out of ideas, right?
He's like,
Well, okay, so basically it's a movie about people that are like talking about movies. And that's what I do on my podcast and my book. And every single time you ever see me ever, I'm going to talk about movies because that's what I love.
get over it.
I love this shit. And the guy likes feet.
That's the only thing I'll defend him on.
I'm not going to yuck your yum, and your yum is just a little... Speaking of schmuckers...
It's not even.
This guy loved Toe Jam.
It's like one movie he showed someone's foot. I don't... So,
yeah, people really like to...
okay, so my thing is I like people's faces in a close-up to show their emotion better. That's my kind of fetish.
What if...
It's in all of my movies.
Mm-hmm. People don't go, that guy shows cleavage a lot. Right? I mean, you don't hear that.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you watch Rush Hour, and you're not like, Brett Ratner loves cleavage.
Well, you do hear stuff about Brett Ratner, certainly.
This was maybe a bad example. It's the only movie I could think of that's as horny as
Quentin Tarantino.
I don't care if he is horny. Good for him.
Sure, I don't care.
I don't care.
It's such a weird thing to be like, and it's been done for 20 years now. Like, he likes feet. He likes feet. It's just old and tired, just like him.
And also, why
Mr.
not?
Tarantino, we wish you a beautiful retirement.
If someone's feet are dirty and they put their feet up, and you go, well, it's the 60s. That's how they would be. Now I'm mad at you.
What did I do?
Just this whole thing about his feet.
His feet?
Yeah.
I didn't say. I don't know. I've never seen his feet.
You know what is crazy? Landon's going to cut it out of the episode. So you're not even going to hear this.
I'm not cutting anything.
He's cutting.
This is Colin Mockery. We don't cut anything.
You don't cut anything except
for a couple weeks ago, I did cut a big chunk out.
You did? Cut a big chunk out. My name's Chunk. So we did want to talk about a few things.
Unfortunately, the episode is over now. So
yeah, it was great to talk with all you guys. It's just crazy how these things work in Hollywood, right?
What?
Just these things.
Yeah.
Tarantino.
Yeah.
A lot of people didn't believe me about Topher. They said Topher doesn't like working with people.
Said he was a jerk.
And now look who's the jerk. Mr. Kuchar. Mr. Kuchar and Mrs. Kunis.
I was bad boy.
The double K.
I was good boy.
I was good boy.
I was good boy.
It's locker room talk, ladies and gentlemen. Here's a song I wrote.
You might want to sing it, note for note. Don't worry.
Sing it with me. It's a song I wrote about a little Topher Grace. It's called Grace Under Fire. Grace under fire, it's true. They tried to say you were a jerk. Ooh. Something, Danny Masterson. I mean, there's so much we can do here.
We can do so much.
And
only.
yet we can do so little. But I heard Landon watched a bunch of movies.
Yeah, but we're done.
I have to put him out for another episode.
That's fine. Did you watch anything?
Oh, you know what I did watch?
No, that's why
you ever
I'm
seen
asking.
Ghost Ship?
No, but I saw it was leaving Max soon.
It was leaving Max, so it went into my brain. This was one that I would see at the movie rental house.
Yes,
when I was working there,
and I would. It's about a ship, and the ship is shaped like a skeleton. Okay, a ghost skeleton. Okay,
and it scared me.
Yeah, it looked freaky.
I was like, I cannot watch that. I watched it. It's terrible.
Yeah,
it's the early 2000s.
Yeah,
is maybe the weirdest time for movies. Mm-hmm. They all suck.
They all look bad.
They all look weird. The person with which I'm living with said, I'm getting more vague. They were like, why does everyone talk like these in these movies?
Talk like
these. There's a specific accent almost in early 2000s movies. The way they read their lines is weird.
Yeah.
The movie's insane. The beginning's kind of funny, how everyone gets died. And then later on...
Unalived, do you mean?
Yes, sorry. I didn't mean to say get died. I know that could.
Sorry.
We have to then block that out online.
Yeah.
So the way that they are getting unalived is kind of crazy.
Thank you.
And then the movie's not what I expected. The ship is never a skull face.
What?
So
that's just a trick of marketing?
There's a guy that I think is Scottish that's either trying not to be Scottish or is trying to be Scottish or is Scottish trying to sound like he's from New York. I don't know what's going on. There's a guy in it that we all know now, but I don't remember from what. And there is a man that is much like Quentin Tarantino and that he is very horny. I would give the movie 2 skulls out of 10 skull ships. And I hope that you check it out on before it leaves Max.
Yeah. Well, here, I'll tell you my...
Oh, and the end's bonkers. It sucks.
Oh.
It's... Yeah.
I might have to watch it.
Yeah.
Before it leaves Max.
2.5 skulls.
2.5 out of 10.
2.5 skull ships out of 10 skull ships.
I watched a movie that's leaving Max soon called Clute. It's a film called Clute.
That's like if Quentin Tarantino made Clue. It was about feet. Okay? Cloot.
He probably would. He probably loves Clute.
Yeah.
It's
never heard of it.
Jane Fonda and Donald Sutherland.
Oh.
She plays a call girl trying to get out of the call girl game.
I have heard of this.
And I believe she won an Oscar for her performance. Much deserved, in my opinion. I had never heard of this movie, and I just saw Clute, and I said, well, that's funny. And then I read the description, like a private eye tries to discover who killed a man and all this stuff and has to talk to a high-end call girl, blah, blah, blah.
High-end call girl.
The movie isn't great. It's called Clute because Donald Sutherland's character is named Clute. It's really not about him at all. It's about her. It should have been called Jane Fonda or whatever her character's name was. Bree, I think.
I assumed Clute was her name.
No, it's his. And he's barely in the movie. He kind of isn't even good at being a detective until the end when they're like, he already knew, didn't he? And you're like, wait, he did? He gave no signs of knowing. Anyway.
They don't really...
They
don't drop the hints for you.
Well, they do in that they kind of show you who it is from the beginning. Mm-hmm. It's the Columbo poker face thing where you kind of know. I mean, they don't outright show you, but you're kind of like, well, obviously that guy is the guy. And then it's a 2-hour movie of him being like, don't try to seduce me. And she's like, come on, let me seduce you.
Yeah.
Just like a call girl would. But she doesn't want to do that. I don't know. It's very weird. And I think even Jane Fonda said something about like, well, I hate what this movie actually tells women. I don't know. There's some interesting stuff going on with this movie.
1971.
She's great in it, though.
Well, isn't she always? I mean, I
usually find her to be great.
Are we fine with her again? I know you got the picture of her on the tank, and you're
nothing wrong in my eyes.
No, got it signed. I got a picture of oh my gosh, I'm blanking now, and I hate this because we have to go, but it's basically going to be this woman that goes on to play Barbie in this new movie that just came out. That a few people, it's a smaller movie. Mm-hmm. I hope she makes it big someday. But it's a picture of her from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and it's her with her feet, and I have it signed, and I have that on my wall. It's signed by Quentin Tarantino, and I have that on my wall. Landon's got
that's cool.
The Hanoi Jane on the tank. We're just different people in that respect, but we still respect each other's people. Isn't that right?
She should do that again now.
Mm-hmm. What do you have to lose?
Just like
except my respect.
Bye.
Bye.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.